If you're over here on the Guitar Girl magazine page, please join me on at Guitar Gabby Instagram page. I'm going back live with my homegirl Aliah Guerra, who is based out of Montreal, Quebec, and we're just continuing a conversation that we've been having about being black in the music industry. It's definitely a different experience than most people in the world. So we just want to have an open, honest conversation about it, and we are back.
Hey.
So I'll let a couple of people join while I figure out why my phone does not want to cooperate.
I had to like set up a little ghetto contraption so that I could record
Okay.
what we're doing because the technical difficulties was
It's been a
crazy.
lot.
We tried this yesterday and
We did, and that's what I was saying to Jackie. Like, I'm not
too simple.
understanding. I don't get
Today
it.
had a
It's
little stage
ridiculous.
fright. I don't know what happened, but
I don't know. Maybe Zoom, she got scared or something. Because I'm like, we were here yesterday. How are you clocking out? We haven't even started. Like, get your lashes together, friend. Come on.
right. It's like my edges. I'm gonna get my edges together.
Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Welcome, people. Welcome all. If you're on before we jump back into our conversation, if you're on the Guitar Girl Magazine Live Facebook page, hop over to Guitar Gabby at Guitar Gabby on Instagram. And we're going to continue the conversation over there. I'm going to actually shut off the live on the Facebook page. Thank y'all so much for joining. I've seen a lot of positive comments, so thank y'all for continuing the positivity and the good vibes. So I'm gonna end it. Again, hop over to Guitar Gabby, and we're going to continue our conversation.
Thanks for coming back, guys.
Thanks, y'all. You're the real ones. You've dedicated yourself. Okay. Boom. Right. Okay. All right, so got that together. Okay, so we were talking about how we got started in the we were talking about how we got started in the industry. So
yeah.
What's your journey and how you got started in the industry? I know you kind of touched on it, but
yeah, I feel like the part that kind of really opened the door for me was back in. I feel like it was not that long, but in 2017. Yeah, 2017. So oh no, it's 2016. 2016, guys. My years are all up over the place. But 2016, I actually, that was the year actually that my great uncle had passed away, and my mom had asked me to sing Amazing Grace in church. So you can't hear me?
No, I'm singing.
Oh,
sorry, it's a Negro hymnal. I had to.
So I was just like, okay, well, this is my first. I have not sang in a church by myself in forever. But if there's any time to do it, it's in front of the ancestors today. So I did it, got over the stage fright and whatever. And I felt like I felt like from that day when I did it, I was like, okay, like my next show, what's the next one? So one show kind of led to another. I felt like after that, the whole year kind of lined itself up. I didn't have to really call for any gigs. People would call me. And the one gig that really blew shit up for me was when I got called to do the Blues Fest, which is like this huge festival that's been going on for like 15 years. And, they've had like these, they're Canadian, so they're not that big, but they're big to Canadians. So like Freddie James was there, and like I opened for him both years, and then they had me come back the next year. I closed for him, and in both years I got to perform for the city council members, parliament members. I don't know if the prime minister, I think his cabinet was there though. So I got to perform for all these people. The news was there. That was like my first time being on TV, getting interviewed. And then from then, global news, CTV News, CBC News, CJ80, CKUT, like all these different radio stations started hitting me up and asking me to come do shows and different festivals. So that year really blew up for me. I ended up doing a video with Jason Shea. That was the first time I did a music video. Then I got brought out to New York to go perform with Free Money, which was freaking crazy because it was like a whole band and the whole thing was set up, lights, like engineer, everything. We got 2 gigs that night. So I was there for a week. So yeah, once that happened, I came back, ended up taking a semester off to finish my album, put out the album, and then more, crazy years would plan itself after that. Of course, it's a lot of hard work, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ultimately was like a domino effect. It's like one show kind of led to another exposure to another person that would set me up for another show, which was ultimately bigger than the last. So I think that all led to now same sort of.
Yeah, that's dope. That's really dope. You have such a diverse, and like I was, and I'm multitasking because my editor just texted me and was like, "This is really great. Like the way that the transition happened with the whole technical difficulty thing was very smooth." But she was like, "This is a really great thing that you're doing," and I'm wondering, huh?
The show must go on.
Right, that's what I was telling her. Look, this is not the first time that we've had to nigger rig it in the middle of a live performance. Okay?
Right.
So, but she was just saying. Yeah, exactly. So I was telling her I really want to do a part 2 where we continue the conversation with
like as a group. Oh, that would be dope.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe
snapping back here the whole time.
Exactly. So I'm gonna we're gonna do a part 2. I'm gonna set that up between now and next week, and I'll get on with you all on the back end to figure out how we can do that, and maybe we can have we'll figure that out. But I definitely think this is something that should be longer than a 1-hour conversation, you know, with 15 minutes per person. I think, exactly, because Soleil was like, "We need to destroy the system. We need to," and her phone was like, "No."
Hyping each other up live and in person, like
right. But it's a really good conversation, and like even just seeing the comments on the Facebook page and then seeing the comments over here is like. This is a conversation that I think so many women want to be a part of and want to have. And plus it just needs to be had whether y'all like it or not. But I definitely think this is something we should continue, which leads me into another question that I had on my list, even though I got super off tangent. But what's one thing that you would say to young girls out there who look up to you through your platform, or just, I mean, again, being on CBC News, just had to, you threw that in there. I love it. Yeah. But what's one thing that you would say to those young girls who are looking up to you, like, as such an inspiration and a role model? What would you tell them to fight through the bullshit of the industry?
I kind of need to think about that just for a second, because I feel like there's a lot of things, like if I could go back and talk to my younger self, honestly, I would go back to myself. I would talk to myself in, I guess, 3 different stages. So in my younger stage, when I was really, really young, like I would say maybe 7, 8, 9, I really, really freaking loved Avril Lavigne. You know, as a Canadian girl,
I loved Avril Lavigne.
That's what we had on the radio, and you know what? She was badass. I liked skater. I liked the whole skater boy vibe, and I had a fake guitar from the time I was little. So, I really liked it. But something in me always told me, "Oh, black girls don't do that. Black girls don't do that. No, you're not black if you do that." You know, and people always say, "Oh yeah, you just like Avril Lavigne," and, you know. But the thing is, like, maybe if I was able to just love Avril Lavigne openly and be inspired by her, I could have learned how to shred and be some other type of beast. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I kind of stopped myself from that because of what other people would project onto me. So I would say, you know, don't let those things get to you, because honestly, that's really what's carving you out to be this unique person. Like further down the line, you just don't see it yet. So that's one thing that really would have helped a lot. You know, and then another thing, I guess, is, you know, I know this seems a little bit difficult, but when you do meet other Black women that think that are like-minded like you, that's actually such a big plus in your life, because I know that for myself, you know, when I was going to a majority white school, I felt very alone, but I Black girls that I was best friends with like throughout the rest of high school. But when I was in the inner city, there was also a lot of Black girls there, but they did not like me. For whatever reason, they just did not like me. So I thought there was something wrong with me. And then Black guys would make me feel bad. Every other type of dude would make me feel bad. And so I always feel like I need to change something. And honestly, it's like when you just kind of eliminate negative people, regardless of who they are, that's one. But then when you find the people that are like-minded like you and that deal with the same shit that you go through, I'm telling you, life gets so much easier. And when you feel like giving up, it's actually, it's not even a thought anymore, because you just holler at your girl and be like, bitch, just guess what happened.
Do we not do that all the time too? I'll be like, y'all, the first person I'm like, bitch, do you know that ESP tried to tell, do you want to read the comments? Because, and we're going to jump into that in a second, because that's another very large part of the, we're gonna jump into the ESP situation because I know a lot of people have DM'd me and asked about like what's been going on.
But yeah, so that's another thing that I would love to have told myself that. And if there's anything I could tell people now, you know, I could only really speak off of experience.
Yeah.
But I would say, just given what's going on right now, because like Jackie said, we do have to sort of take a step back and reevaluate all of our goals, especially people like us that are very, you know, we're thinking about the future because we're bosses and we have to be planning shit. You know, we have to reevaluate a lot of these things. And I think right now, one, when we're thinking, because we always got to think about this music and the business side, I would say for the creative side, don't stress yourself out. Don't like push yourself don't overexert yourself. You can't expect yourself to create and just produce on this high performing level like the way you would when everything is all happy and dandy, because the world is literally going, like, it's literally upside down right now. As creatives, a lot of us currently, like, we are empaths. We feel what's going on, and that's how we create, and that's how we're so honest what we do. So a lot of times we have to take time to process what's going on, just like everybody else. We might be slow, might be faster, but we have to take time to process this. Only then we can transmute it into something that y'all can listen to that doesn't sound like some crazy angry Black woman just ranting. So I'm saying, so we have to take our patience with ourselves and be mindful of ourselves. At the same time, while we are reevaluating our goals, we also need to be very mindful that, again, music is not just music. And now that the tour aspect is gone, for everyone who signed with the label, how y'all making money if they own your streaming? So you need to think about what's the new business wave? What's the new business wave for the music business? Not just music. It's together. What's the next wave? The next wave is having your own platform, is owning your data. I won't go too crazy into it, but this is what people charge for. That's where the currency really is when it comes to the music industry. Music is in waves, right? So the business and the data, y'all got to get on that. Focus on that. You can go back to doing music because you love it, not because you need money to pay for your bills because Rona coming back. You know what I mean? So,
we did not plan to come to church today,
but y'all got the word anyway, and I'll be back on.
Okay. That's real. Like, that's super real. And kind of segueing, I guess it's kind of, I mean, all of it's really related, but I kind of want to jump into the ESP Guitars situation because a lot of people have messaged me and asked me what's going on. I've seen people commenting like the whole nine. And Aliah, the reason why I want to bring it up with Aliah here is because Aliah was part of this on the back end with me from day one when I first decided to take a step of courage out. And I'm going to also bring up Soleil. I'm also going to bring up some other things behind the scenes, but there's a lot of good that is coming out of this, but I also want to just be transparent about the realities of what is happening, what has happened. And I'm not the first person who had to deal with this. So, of course, everyone knows that, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement has been extremely, extremely vocal always, but especially in light of what's happening right now in our nation. And it just, like I brought up with Jackie, I started this conversation saying that, in Soleil, that I was noticing that there was so much silence on the ends of many companies that I'm endorsed with, that I spend a lot of time and energy and intentional marketing to connect my brand and my fan base and women that look like me and people that look like me to their products. Because if we're being honest, a lot of people that are now aware of ESP guitars would not have been aware of them if it weren't for my branding of the color green. And so I decided to take a step out, you know, courage, and just take a step out and directly call out all of my endorsement companies. And I'm endorsed with 7 different companies, but I mainly endorse three different companies in my branding and in my regular marketing. That would be EMG Pickups, Ernie Ball Strings, and also ESP Guitars. And so I called out all of my endorsement companies like, yo, where y'all at? Like,
where's the outrage?
Quiet. Like, what you doing? You sleep? And so, So I will say that once the very first company that responded was EMG, which honestly, I'm not surprised because I have a close relationship with my reps over there and with the marketing manager over there. It's a family company, so I think that they have a different set of priorities and understanding when it comes to civil liberties and, like, you know, human rights issues, all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't surprised that EMG first came out to support me and also came out and said, Yeah, no, don't get it twisted. We definitely support Black Lives Matter and what's happening right now, because this is a serious issue that definitely needs to be addressed and talked about. So we stand in solidarity. Thank you. Ernie Ball came up next, and this was a couple of days later. Ernie Ball came out in support, and that was also very much appreciated. And they also did come out and make a statement. But for some reason, it was like 4 days went by, 6 days went by, and I'm trying to figure out, where is ESP? And I know y'all are seeing my post because somebody on your social media intern team has been liking my post and you've been sharing things. So I'm trying to understand, like, so you see me, which is actually a little bit more offensive because you're seeing it and you're still not saying anything. Now, that could be for multiple reasons. That could be because, again, like a lot of times with big companies and corporations, interns are running social media, and obviously they don't always have the clearance to just say whatever the hell they want on social media, because there's a company and a brand and a chain of command that you have to go through. So that could be one very plausible reason. But I will say that there was an incident that happened on Facebook last week that kind of just drove up the need for me to be even more loud and vocal about it, despite the overwhelming amount of men, I'm going to be honest with you, men that call themselves friends of mine, texting me, calling me, DMing me, telling me that I shouldn't be, speaking out. I'm scared your company is going to, drop you, or what if they feel offended? I feel offended. How do you think Black people in America feel?
Right.
So I don't really care about losing followers or losing people who claim to be my friends if your first response is to tell me to shut up. So that was one incident, but that kind of segued into something that happened on Facebook, which was the advertisement that I put up saying, hey, ESP Guitars, we need you to be, now more than ever, to be standing in visible solidarity, got shared from some random fan on social media on my Facebook page, shared my post into an ESP guitar groups that I'm in. I'm in a couple of different ESP groups, but it kind of just opened up a Pandora's box of the true consumer base of I'm not going to just say ESP guitars, but like really, if we're being honest, the consumer base for like most, if not all, of the companies in the manufacturing business inside of the music industry are a lot of redneck white men. And it opened up a Pandora's box, which is something that I've experienced before. We're not going to go into all that, but I had a BuzzFeed situation that happened. So it's not anything that's unfamiliar, but it definitely opened up a Pandora's box for the true racism that a lot of consumers of these particular brands have. And so it got pretty bad. And Aliah saw the screenshots that I was sending her. She was actually in the group looking at stuff too.
They had a whole back, like,
right.
A good thing they don't disable the damn comments, but anyway.
But it went on for a long while. I really kept my composure and didn't say nothing, even though some of the clapback was needed with some of these people. But I just, kept my cool and kept my composure, because that's what boss women do. That's what Black women historically have had to do. And so it also allowed me the opportunity to be very transparent with the VP and with my reps on the back end by emailing them and saying, not sure if y'all are clocking what's happening. I find it hard to believe that you don't see what's happening, because all of y'all are in this Facebook group and you're pretty active on a regular basis. But I would love to actually take the initiative and, again, take another step of courage out here on this lonely ass branch to have a conversation with you all about how we can be more, well, actually not we, how you can be more, because how you all can do better at diversity and inclusion. And that starts from a business standpoint. That starts from marketing. That starts from a whole bunch of different things. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you all, the situation that happened, even if you didn't necessarily know the ins and outs of it, but that's the short of what happened. And I will say that I did get a response from the VP the other day, and we are going to be having a conference call this Friday to discuss ways that ESP guitars can do better at diversity and inclusion, or lack thereof, within their company. And I think that that's a very important conversation to kind of segue into, because like a lot of celebrities posted during this time, the music industry is built up, this whole country, but like the music industry in particular, historically, has been built off of appropriating and taking Black culture, the Black dollar, and turning it into something that we did not step into this to be. Like, we just wanted, this is a passion, and we just wanted to share that with you all, and somehow it became a way to monopolize off of Black culture furthermore. So that was a long roundabout way of just kind of going into the conversation of how do you feel these companies out here can do better, not just in light of what's happening, but just like in general. I feel like this is now opening up more doors of conversation to be had with pointing out to these companies, look, there needs to be an overhaul of marketing strategies within the music industry with these manufacturing companies, because I don't see hardly any Black women. If I can maybe count one advertisement that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of it is very like mixed in the sense that, you know, there are things that obviously they can't, or they say that they don't have the flexibility to do just based on the branding standpoint and yada yada and the financing standpoint. And on the other side, there's like, okay, well, what's socially right and what's socially presentable?
Right.
And so like when it comes to the conversation of asking, okay, well, can you provide equal opportunity? And
Right.
that whether that's programs, funding, grants, you know, gear, whatever, like providing equal opportunity to each of the people in the community that they have. So if y'all know you have Black women, whether that's 2%, 1%, 20%, whatever, then
Yep.
they need to be equally included in that roster of whatever it is that y'all are selecting. Okay, and I really feel like that's something that I was mentioning earlier, is because whenever there's a slot to go and, you know, include, yeah, and we're diverse, it's like, why is that only 2% though, or like
Right.
3%? You know what I'm saying? If this is such a global issue, and it goes beyond just Black people.
Yep.
It's not just, if you don't see enough Black people and all these other races are experiencing racism, then shouldn't you be making a very big effort that's noticeable for all these people to feel included and safe and like
Right.
and considered in all of these business decisions when y'all's taking our money, you know? So
Yeah.
this is some of the things we were mentioning before, is just like how they can really do better is, one, putting their money towards these types of initiatives. That's the best way to know that somebody's serious. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We can all say things all we want, but money is what makes the world go round, unfortunately. So
Money and pussy.
we're not moving until we see some money there. You
Right.
know, so until any of these companies are willing to actually put some monetary value and you
Yep.
know, mobility behind these words, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
So I want to see more inclusion in
Yeah.
just in visual representation, but also when it comes time to offer these things to people, I want us to
Yeah.
be like, oh, this is much a good a chance as this white guy who shreds incredibly. But I want to know that they're not just going to choose him because he fits, you know,
Right.
what they're
Whatever mold they.
trying to
Yeah.
think. Exactly. It needs to reflect the community. Now again, this could be problematic when we have companies like ESP that you see how they reflect that community. Like their community has their own ideologies, obviously, but that will reflect, you know, in itself when you have other people that are part of that community.
Yeah.
So just having
Yeah.
that set, and then again, this will tie into the other thing we were mentioning, just having things moderated, like having somebody watching what's going on in the community section or the comment section is super important, because if your community has no filter, okay, but listen, I don't feel comfortable when I'm here now.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I think that I definitely second everything you've said, and like it's just I'm really I'm really happy to see kind of jumping around, but going back to something that Jackie said earlier
Mm.
and Soleil even said earlier, which is we're at a very interesting point right now in the world, not just in the music industry, but we're at a very pivotal point right now because so many things are being forced to change because one, it should have a long time ago. Let's just be honest. But two, because Black people, Black women in particular, we are tired of being behind the scenes of everything. We're tired of doing all the work and not getting the credit. We're tired of all of the above. And so I think that this is a very interesting time right now. And I want to be a part of the movement. Like Soleil said, like it is our job, it is our responsibility as Black women, as musicians, especially inside of this industry, to use our voice to definitely push for change and to push for something positive to come about, because it's not just about us. It's not just about Guitar Gabby and ESP guitars. It's not just about that. It's
Mm.
about the next young Black girl that wants to play a yellow guitar, which ESP makes a yellow guitar. It's about that young girl feeling comfortable enough to know that if she spends all of her money and her time and her energy and her efforts marketing and sending all of the fans and consumers that she will develop back to your company, I need to feel that I'm going to have some support, especially
Right.
when absolutely heinous things are happening in something as simple as the comment section of a group. So I think that it's bigger than that. And I do want to say and make it very clear that the VP has heard my concerns. I reached out to him and we've had a couple conversations in the past, but I'm very much interested to see what this conversation is going to be like on Friday, but I'm going to definitely put forth my courage and my voice to make sure that some change happens, not just in the world, but like specifically within ESP Guitars, because I firmly believe and know that my brand and my marketing sends a lot of consumers to their company because of how visible I make their products. So we'll see how that goes. Child, that took a lot out of me.
I be forgetting we on live sometimes.
Me too. I feel like we're on
FaceTime. Like I'm getting ready to like throw my leg up here.
Right. Like
the bus is jacking open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all. But thank y'all so much for joining though. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Gosh, there was something I was gonna touch on earlier, and I'm just like, let me not like throw this in at the end, just like seem like some crazy angry person. But it's because all the guys in here are gonna think, like, oh my god, here they go, they can't stand the men. No, but honestly, I'm gonna just say this one thing. This happened last year, and this was after I had been chosen as one of the top 5 creative entrepreneurs and artists in Canada. So for the SoCan program, I know. Thank you very much. Thank you for the love. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah.
So and listen, I'm gonna give SoCan a very big shout out because just looking at a lot of the companies around here, SoCan hasn't had to do any apologizing, because they've always been representative of diversity. Now so look, okay, 20 people. I don't know how many different races there were, but out of the 20 people, 5 people were chosen. 1 black man, 2 black girls, white guy, white girl. 3 black people in there. Okay, we have some LGBTQ in there as well too. So, but you see what I'm saying? They didn't just give you 1 black person.
Yeah.
They gave you 3 different black people, and that was nice. But one thing I will say is when they selected us to go to this studio, right? We were flown to Toronto, and we got to record in this fancy studio with all these amazing engineers. It's fancy stuff, whatever. So, anyways, I already put out my album at this time. I engineer, produce. I understand how these things work. So I get into the studio, and I had an engineer who was on the scene, and I understand he was tired because he had to produce for 5 people, and they misscheduled his day. And
oh Jesus,
I can't remember. Anyways, bro was up here and he was tight, right? So anyways, I'm in here trying to lay down my tracks because I only had 2 things to do. I already produced the damn song when I came in there. I just wanted to lay down 2 tracks just to say I did something and call it a day, okay? So anyways, I came up in there ready to do my stuff, and then the guy's telling me, oh, no, it's not going to work with that. You're going to have to try it like this. You can't sit here. You have to do it like this, and then we're trying to mix it, and I'm just like, yo, you just got to lower down the highs a bit because the high frequency is too low, so that's why it's clashing. And I said it like 9 times, girl. I'm like, can they hear me? Like,
maybe they don't hear me.
Didn't I just... 4 times. I'm like, you need to lower down the high frequency, friend. And like maybe 5-10 minutes later, he's like, I think the high frequency is too low. And I'm like,
you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm calling the Uber. You're not listening to me.
Honestly, that is the epitome of how I feel when I'm in situations where I'm dealing with sound techs and I'm in a studio and it's a giant sausage fest, and I'm the only like black woman, I'm the only woman or the only person that relatively knows what the fuck they're talking about in terms of tech. And I know what I want, so when they're not doing it, they think I don't know. Sometimes them who don't know what the fuck they're doing, and then they don't even like to admit that they're wrong and be like, "Oh, my bad. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Let me correct myself and do because you know what you're talking about."
We could write a whole book.
They don't do that. That scenario just it doesn't exist. So moving forward, since we're in this new world, if y'all would like to integrate that into your daily routine of habits or things that y'all practice, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I'm just saying it would be appreciated if y'all would integrate it. But that's my spiel.
Integration. Please
I'll let
integrate.
y'all go, you know. But yeah.
That's
So
facts. You know what? That's a real thing. And I started to build like the whole technical and then the whole internet fucked up when I was trying to do the connection shit or whatever. But that was one thing that I was going to bring up because I know without a shadow of a doubt that all four of us, me, you, Jackie, and Soleil, have countless experiences. And I know that there are so many other women out here right now watching and will watch this later who can speak to this. But like, child, we could write a whole book about just dealing with sound men alone. Because when I tell you I have had to, I think I was on an interview recently within the last like month or so, but we were having this conversation as well. And they were like, what has been your experience, you know, dealing with like sexism and stuff like that in the music industry, especially being having an all Black woman rock collective and then being inside of rock and roll. When I tell you I've had to drag the sound man because you're not listening to me, you're not hearing me, maybe I should get closer.
Like, come here, let me
I've had to stop the whole show before. I have literally had to stop the whole show. It might have been Afro Punk. Oh, I remember I was having a conversation, an interview thing called I think it's called Black Girl, I forgot. But it's an interview thing that I was doing for this documentary that's being created talking about just, you know, being a Black woman in America. And I was having this conversation with them because they were asking me about, you know, oh, well, how was your Afro Punk experience? And I'm like, child, I played Afropunk 3 times and each experience has been different. But when I tell you the second time we played, which was the first show in Atlanta, the sound people, girl, I had to stop the show. But it started with but like y'all and see people would think this is something minor, but like no, this is like a real thing, and it may seem like stupid to y'all, but like this is real shit that we have to deal with. It's so fucking dumb. I shouldn't have to do whatever, but I set my backline request. You, Aliah, you know I am thorough, especially when it comes to taking care of my band. I am thorough, and I sent in a full writer of all of the things that we need. I sent my text sheet in. I sent my layout of the stage, the whole 9. Tell me when we get there and it's an hour to showtime. I walk up to the stage and the sound guy was like, what's name? Who are y'all? I was like, TxLips. First of all, you should just know that because look at us. But second of all, I'm like, I don't see anything on the stage. What, like we played in an hour. What's going on? The guy was like, oh, I think yo quit. I don't know actually. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? We supposed to sound check now. This happened in real life. Long story short, though, I found out that they had actually, the sound people had put our equipment, our whole backline at another stage. And this is less than an hour before we're supposed to get on stage and play. And the response was, well, do you want to switch to a different stage? I was like,
I would just be like, bruh.
No, I don't.
Like, what kind of question is that an hour before?
What kind of question is that? So it was a lot, but like they had to, this is part of the reason, I know I'm jumping around, but like this is one very specific topic that kind of started me to say, you know what, I want to do this Being Boss series because one, yes, definitely do everything myself. If I can, I will do it myself. Because if you want something done, 1, do it yourself. But 2, if you want something done, give it to a woman. But no shade, niggas, we love y'all. But it was just, I mean, y'all, I don't think people realize, and like Soleil said, I don't think a lot of people don't realize, or maybe a lot of people think that because, you know, we're such an anomaly inside of the music industry, being that we're Black women that play guitar, I think a lot of people sometimes have this false notion that we have everything easier or that things are, you know, a piece of cake for us.
Maybe for guys that play guitar, because apparently the stereotype is they just get all the girls. That's like, they're the cool dude, they get all the girls. That's the stereotype. But when you're the Black girl, I mean, we probably get all the dudes, but we also get a lot of hate too. So
we get a lot of hate, and it's little things. It'll be little things like you do a whole sound check, and then when you start the show, for some reason the levels it's like they never existed.
Yeah, they like to play around with the vocal level because they think, oh, the guitar shouldn't sound that way. It should sound this way. And it's like, but I can't hear me. What?
Right. And like, that's what I mean though. And so then being in the middle of a show, you have to like, I've had to stop the show and say, playing. Is this thing on testing? What? Hello. Can we please do the sound check again? I understand we're in the middle of a show, but like we're gonna have to redo the levels because for some reason what we did during sound check is not working. So if you could actually just scratch everything and we do it now, that would be great. Audience, I am so sorry you're having to experience this. I cannot put on a show with this happening like this.
Exactly. And it's not their problem to know, but the engineer need to fix that. And if he doesn't fix that, they don't think it's the engineer. They think it's you that sounds bad.
Right, exactly. But then if you say something, here comes the angry black woman narrative. Well, it's like, oh, she just complained about everything. No, if you were playing on stage and somebody was messing up your sound, you too would be upset. And if you say that you're not, you're lying.
Sorry, there's a mosquito in here. Sorry, what were you saying? I lost my train of thought. This freaking mosquito.
It's just, y'all, this is the reason why I wanted to open up this conversation, like, in this being a boss series, because I wanted to, make it abundantly clear that when you are your own boss, like me, Jackie, Aliah, and Soleil, and many other women out there, especially being a black woman, a woman of color in the music industry, there's so much that comes with it. There's so many things that happen behind the scenes that you all are not even remotely aware of. But, we push through all of it. We grind, we hustle, and we get it done. Like, and my mom is one of the examples of, actually the example in my life of women, black women who have persevered and pushed through the bullshit. And I used to always think growing up, like, I know she heard this nigga say what he just said to her in this Walmart. Why is she not cussing his ass out? And I'm like 15, and I'm like, nigga, go ahead. And my mom is like so calm.
Calm down. It's like,
right. And then when we get into the car, she's like, let me explain something to you. The world is always going to use the narrative of you being an angry black woman and you can't get nothing done like that. I want to cuss niggas out on a regular basis as well. But there is a time and a place and a way to do it. Now is not the time nor the place. We're going to get that ass on the back end. And guess what? She got that ass on the back end. So,
yes.
So just learning that lesson from my mom, like...
No, real talk. Honestly, my train of thought that I lost a couple of seconds ago is because when I was doing that same festival I told you about, the Blues Fest.
Yeah.
So the first year I did it by myself. The second year I got called to do it with my band, right? So I had to
is this the story we talked about? I think you told me about this, right? I think
girl, possibly.
We've had so many conversations. Go ahead.
So I've had to fire band members, I've had to fire bands, I've had to fire drummers. I had to fire my drummer the day of a show, and I still slayed the show without him. But anyways, let me just tell you that quick story. So anyways, so the story was, so we had the gala, and then it's the festival. So the gala is like for the prime ministers and whatnot, and then the festivals like public outside in front of 8,000 people or whatever. So I did the gala the second year the band came, and I explained to them very specifically, y'all got to be here at sound check at 3:00. That's the rules. Now the show starts at 7, but we go on like, I don't know, whatever time. So anyways, I told them the sound check time, and because I know where they're coming from, they're coming from Southside. Southside's like, there's crazy traffic, so I told them, be mindful. I even gave them, I think, an hour in advance the actual time was, because people just be niggas. So anyways, they showed up 2 hours late to sound check. Girl, when I tell you my blood was up the freaking roof. And then the organizer came and he was like, if your band's not here in the next 10 minutes to do sound check, y'all not playing. So I was like, listen, I will play without these men. I will play by myself if I have to. Okay, and it was so crazy because the band that was up before us, they were like a bunch of old like white dudes. They were playing like, blues music and whatnot. And they were like, oh, excuse me, like we heard you're gonna be playing by yourself. Your band's not here for sound check. Like, do you want us to play with you or do you need anything? I was like, listen, that's really nice, but like, yo, I gotta play this by myself if my band's not here. It was cool that they were supporting, but I was ready to do it by myself because I'm like, listen, I put money into this. I have money that I'm getting back from this, and I'm not about to lose it because somebody didn't know what time it was. You know what I mean? So that was a moment where I'm like, you know what? Contracts from here on out, just deposit from here on out, and I was writing my own contracts from then, and that was at the end of that. So I see these men traipsing in 2 hours late, just strolling in, and I was livid, and I was just like, y'all can get over there, food's over there, we're gonna start in about 10 minutes, and I didn't even talk to nobody. I'm like, over there, just get your stuff and get on the goddamn stage. Like I could not utter words because I would have cussed out all of them. I was so mad. But we finished the show, and then 2 weeks later was the festival now. And we get to the stage. We're there. Everyone came on time. They came on time. Now we're backstage and we're about to get on, okay? And so I hear them say, okay, thanks so much for coming. You know, Freddie James is leaving the stage, and that was like the big act of the night. And so they're like, okay, thanks so much for coming, everyone. And then the guy puts on the DJ thing, and I'm like, okay, good. Now we can start transitioning and put our shit on. So we're like getting ready to go on. And then as my band's bringing their keyboard on, I see the freaking tech guy wrapping up wires. I'm like, where's he going? And then he's like, wait, what are you guys doing? I'm like, what do you mean, what are we doing? We're performing. I'm like, we're closing the show. And he's like, oh, you're closing it? Oh, but it's already 10 o'clock. I'm like, look at the program. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? So then the guy's like, oh, no, they're still performing. And so they're trying to pack shit back on. And then as we're getting ready to go, people are starting to leave now. My keyboard player is saying, oh, my keyboard's not working.
Okay. You know what? I would have been like, we're going to remote control you off.
Right. That's how I felt. But we're on stage and he's telling me this. So I was just like, what do you mean? Yeah, your keyboard is fine. It's just tripping. So we're looking at it and I'm like waiting for him. Like, he gonna fix it. Don't worry, guys. He's gonna fix it. Still going on down there, you know? And I'm just watching him. And then he's like, yeah, something's wrong with the cable. So I'm like, okay, so you can't plug in your keyboard. I'm like, ask the other dude who was just on stage if you could use his plug-in thing. And apparently it's not the same thing. So he's like, can I use your keyboard? And the guy's like, nah, man, it's not a toy. Talk about this. But anyways, so I was like, listen, if you ain't got no keyboard and he ain't giving you your keyboard, that's a you problem. You're not playing. We're playing without you. Sayonara. And we ended up doing the show. And he had to sit on the side. Now, because I'm not a crazy ghetto person, I still paid his ass. I paid all of them, even though they almost made me lose my first gig. And I paid them even though that last dude wasn't even able to perform.
No.
See, so I'm a person with integrity. So I paid them because they did the work, they performed, they did the rehearsal, they came, they showed up, and they played. The guy, it wasn't his fault that shit wasn't working, but I understood that. See, so we go through shit and we still pay people.
Yeah.
Out our pocket, because we don't be getting that fun. Just so you know. So these are just minor things. But it's the reality, though.
Like, this is the reality of the shit that we have to deal with. It may not seem like a big deal to other people out there, but like, this is the reality of being a Black woman in the music industry.
Yeah. It's time to be professional, time to be ratchet. Exactly.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, don't get it twisted. You can still catch these hands. I'm from Atlanta.
Big fact. You're going to raise a kid up anyway. Like, we can do it.
No, but you can still catch hands. So it just has to be done in a particular manner. And I've learned, my mom has always like taught me like the art of silence. Girl,
it is. You got to be able to like flip it, you know? Exactly. Got to plot twist on them.
Red. Yep. Plot twist.
But that's what makes them so angry, because my mom will be home talking his problems and whatnot, and then when she tells me something that her manager or somebody said, and they say it because they know they're gonna get a reaction out of it, and then when they don't get that reaction, they're almost like,
makes them twice as mad.
What, it didn't work?
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Then Petty Gabby has entered the chat room, and I'll be like, oh, you didn't see my email? I CC'd the whole staff. You didn't see the seat. You didn't get it? Well, maybe you should check your spam folder. It might be in there.
Spam folder.
I had to tell somebody the other day.
That is the biggest
my email. I'm like, girl,
it's probably in spam.
Look at your spam folder. And I'm like, this seems to be a reoccurring issue. I had to email this man and be like, this seems to be a reoccurring issue. I feel like you should check your spam folder and or see if you have some sort of block on your email, because I'm not at the 7th of every month, you're always emailing me asking me to do something that I've already sent you. So I don't check your spam, sis. Check your spam.
Oh my goodness.
But well, y'all, I cannot believe it's been a whole another hour. It's already
Wait, do you have one more? Or was that it? Was just 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, who's the next one? I'm like, I gotta make time for sis who's coming on. I'm like,
no, even if we did, child, we've been past the time. We
big facts. damn, I'm like, I hope they still up. Like,
Right.
damn.
No, this has
Yeah.
been really good. I have, if you are just now joining or you've been kind of coming in and out, this has been like the second video of, well, I guess the second of two
Like,
videos, but second one, well, I guess, yeah, whatever. This is one of the
series,
videos.
so many.
Yeah, with the conversation today, if you missed it earlier, I was talking with my homegirl, Jackie Venson, and then my other homegirl, Soleil, and now talking with my homegirl Aliah, and we were just speaking about the realities of being a Black woman inside of the music industry, whether that be the racism that we have to deal with, the sexism, the misogyny, child, the list goes on. But at the end of the day, we always push through, we persevere, and you all will sometimes may never know, and in the future, you probably, I can guarantee you, you're not going to ever know 100% of the things that your favorite, your favorite women musicians or artists out there have to deal with, because we don't always necessarily advertise everything. But this whole Being a Boss series was inspired by, I just wanted you all to know, like, it's not always peaches, cupcakes, and sunshine. It's a lot of shit, but there's a lot of good that comes out of it. I also just wanted to personally use my platform, and I know the other ladies would agree, using their platform to just show you all and show all the other young ladies out there who are watching us and following us. You can do this shit, sis. Do not let these niggas, get you off of your throne. Do not let these white men that are, their only goal is to push you out. Do not let anybody take your crown from you, even if it's other women who are in fake competition with you or whatever. I don't understand.
If they're in
Like I was
competition,
talking about the whole competition thing. Right. It shouldn't be
we're
a
not in the
competition.
same we're not in
We're
the
not,
same world.
exactly. If you
No.
are on your queen shit and I'm on my queen shit, then why can't we just queen together and just take
Exactly.
over all of it? In two
Amen.
different lanes, but we can take over all of it. So do not let anybody throw you off of your game, sis. You got this. I know you do.
And hit
I
us up.
see
Like,
you.
we are here to give the game to you guys, because like, we are
Exactly.
this shit together. There's literally nothing benefiting me by not telling you how to help yourself navigate through this.
Right. So
Yeah.
y'all keep going, keep thriving, straighten up your crown, sis. You got this. And what else? The last part that I wanted to share with you all. Oh, so I've been texting my editor, and we have agreed that we are going to do a part 2. She thinks it's an excellent idea. So if you aren't already aware, on the 15th of every month, I've been putting out an article called Guitar Gabby on Being a Boss, and it's part of my Being a Boss series, aka my Boss Bitch series, with Guitar Girl Magazine. So if you have not already seen part 1, go to guitargirlmagazine.com and you call the intern that are live, but we gonna call him back later. But yeah, so if you all haven't already seen it, definitely go check that out. Second part is going to be coming out on the 15th in just a couple more days. And follow all of the ladies. Head to my page to find their tags, and we'll share when part 2 is going to be airing with you all, and continue to boss up.
Yes, and I'm gonna plug this really quickly. Since we have a cool little group of people that we can say this is an exclusive like announcement to, I'm gonna give you guys a scoop. So I'm gonna be announcing my special ACE program, which stands for Artist to Creative Entrepreneur. So for the reason why I decided to just kind of let this out now is because we really got to focus on the music business side. And that is, it's not an option anymore, guys. We're not doing the slave contracts. We're not doing the censorship. You can't play this. It's a thing of the past. We are the only people who will be telling us what we can and cannot say. So in that case, I'm going to be teaching you guys a little bit about just being a boss on your own, an independent artist, and just little resources and things that you can find to help you do what you got to do to essentially get your art out there. That's really the main goal. So I'm going to give you guys some game on that. It's definitely applicable for people from the States too, but just not all the programs will be like, you guys won't be eligible for all of them. But the game it's definitely applicable because, again, like I said, with the internet, it's all about data and it's all about platform.
Yeah.
Let it show you guys utilize that and help you guys as much as I can. So make sure you follow me. I will be giving all the announcements about that. If you see my Instagram, I was leading up to that. So
yes, and I've been loving it. I was like, come on, Black Mom. Yes,
and if you see all the captions of all the posts, they're just little just reasons of why you should be supporting Black people, because we aren't contributing to slavery in 2020, unlike some people. But anyways, that's for another conversation.
Another glass of wine and another conversation.
That's for another. On that note, child.
Right.
My empty.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Let's
Needs
go
to
ahead and
get
wrap it
filled.
up. So we go see y'all another time. Again, make sure you're following Aliah. You want to plug your IG real quick?
Yeah, Aliah G420. My birthday's on 420, so you can remember it really easily.
Yeah. And then make sure you are following Soleil, which is this is .soul. This is .sol. And then Jackie Venson is spelled just like it sounds, JackieVenson. Follow all of the ladies. Make sure you're following my Black Women Rock Band Collective at the TxLips Band, Pussy Power Gang, gang shit.
Okay.
And we love y'all so much. Aliah, I'm going to text you in a minute because I got some tea
Girl.
to share with you.
Yes, we got a part 2 this on FaceTime. But bye, guys.
Right. Bye, y'all.
In. Bye.
Bye.